All right. Is that better? Can you hear me now? Please tell me you can hear me now. Let's go. I had to bring this guy back. I'm supposed to be in New York City today, but apparently I booked my flight for tomorrow morning, and I went to the airport this morning at 5 a.m. to notice that my ticket was for tomorrow morning. So that is brutal. But here we go. So there's a couple things I was talking about before. Currently, I am in a lotto play here, this 4115s, and I'm in the put side of things. So it's just a lotto. It's just one contract. It's nothing crazy. I feel like this could probably end up printing about $400 to $500 a contract if it ends up pulling back. It looks pretty strong. I'm not going to say that it's going to happen, but even if this is an inverse head and shoulders, we'll pull back down to this 411. This could print out at least a couple $100. I'm not going to trade too much at the end of the day, but I will call a lot of things out in some of my watch lists. I missed out on $20,000 today, and I'll tell you all about it here in a little bit. It ended up taking like a little $400 loss today because I sold too early. So we'll get into it. I'm just going to provide some commentary for you guys, what I'm watching, and some trades that maybe I see, but I doubt, so I don't revenge trade. It's very put in my it was in the SPX, man, and it hurts. We'll get into that, but I missed out on about 20 grand, and I'll show you exactly what I did so you don't make the same mistake. I ended up losing about $450, and if I held it for an extra 30 minutes, I would have been up $20,000. So it's really, really brutal. Oh, current play? That's a little bit less stressful, but I'm in the 4115 SPX puts for today expiration. They're very cheap. I bought one at 60, and on a breakdown, it's only about $10 away from in the money. And if we go back down to low of the day, which I don't think that'll happen, but we could pull back down to this 410, especially if we catch some sellers before the PPI data tomorrow, could be a really, really great play. And the very, very small risk to reward ratio, I would lose probably, I would probably cut this maybe down $40 if it gets down to 20. Maybe I'll let it run to zero. But on the opposite end here, these things were just worth about $1,700 a piece. So if we get down to the low of the day, could get really, really, really big off of just no money being risked. So a couple things I want to call out. Microsoft hit its 312 mark. Expectation for PPI data tomorrow. I personally think that it's going to start getting red, the market, because we're now seeing inflation come down, right? We saw inflation data come in today at 4.9% rather than the 5% expected. So it's coming down. That's great, right? Kind of. So as a consumer, it's really good. But on the other side of things, when you start flipping to the producer and the producer starts taking that hit, someone's taking that hit. So it's all a balance beam. So if the consumer is lessening, then the producer is taking more of a hit, which makes it a lot harder for the economy because the producer is the factory workers of the world, the distribution centers of the world, whatever it may be. So it's going to be harder to get product. It's going to be more expensive for them to create products for people. And then that's when it's going to start trickling down into laying off factory workers and thinning out profit margins for companies. And then that's where we're going to really start to see the effects of the economy. So just be really careful of that. I don't want to scare anybody in any way, but the PPI data, it's no longer about inflation. It's now about stagflation, cutting interest rates, and deflation. So we're starting to get to that point, and that's when things start to get ugly. So just paying attention to that, make sure you're aware of that, and that's the next topic. So tomorrow I feel like the market could be red. I feel like we might get a little end-of-day sell-off. I'm not exactly sure where we'll go to end the day, but I am in just a $60 lotto play because these were just worth $1,700. So I bought near the bottom. If it continues to go over here, then it continues to go. It's only $60. I'm not trading this afternoon just because of that, what happened to me today. But I will say my coin shares that I purchased for $48 are crushing it. So I'm waiting for this to get about 65-ish, 67, maybe up to probably about 65, 66. I'll take my profits just because it's in a massive uptrend. I bought down here. I'll be up about 40% on the trade up here. So going to cash out and reassess. So that's more of a longer term trade. So I'm sitting in that trade right now. I will say Microsoft did hit its target price. I was calling it out in Cush's chat this morning. If anybody was there, I was talking about how Microsoft was going to 312 all day, and it got to it late in the day, but I was actually playing this breakout that happened earlier. So I saw this spike right here. Started taking some smaller positions right around this 308.40, and then I took this break and added on this pullback to this VWAP line and ended up selling some up here at 311. I figured it would probably hit that 312, but I just wanted to take some profits. Good thing I did because it chopped all day, and now I hit that target. So if it's going towards your target price, make sure you're always scaling out of a position. I'm not so much of a breakout trader. Like I usually don't buy contracts right here at 310 because it's already spiking. Premiums are already spiked, and you're not getting as much of a reward if it goes through. And catch the bottom of this buy. Yeah, so we're running right here, and the one thing that I want to highlight real quick is we are kind of in a breakout phase of the market right now. So if you notice on a lot of these daily charts, we got Microsoft hitting new highs after a little bit of a pullback. We have NVIDIA doing that very, very often. It just went down to this 274, ran up to 292. Now we're consolidating. I'm sure we'll see 300 here pretty soon, so I am waiting for that. Tesla still in this weird limbo area, but I am waiting for this 174 break to hit this gap fill at 177. That'll be a really nice trade. And Meta is my number one. So I caught a little bit of puts today, and that wasn't the most expensive or most extravagant play in the world, but I caught some of these real quick. And the one thing I want to point out to you guys, no matter if you're trading SPY, SPX, Tesla, Microsoft, Meta, whatever the hell you trade, Apple, Amazon, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're trading Dollar General, Coinbase, CrowdStrike, whatever you want to trade. These are very, very consistent. The way you make money in the market is based off of supply and demand and price action. Everybody can say it's indicators. You could say the MACD's crossing over. It's really supply and demand. And when you're buying and there's more buyers on the side, you're making money when the buyers are outweighing the sellers. So one thing that changed my entire trading perspective when I was trading for, I don't know, it's been like 6-7 years now, but this time, about 3 years ago, right before COVID, I started changing my entire perspective on everything, and that is one candlestick and one candlestick only, and it is the hammer candle. It is the hammer candle at the bottom of a Bollinger Band or the bottom of a trend. So you can see it to a T here, and it literally creates almost like a T. So when I zoom in over here, you're in a downtrend in Meta all day long, right? You think it's going to sell off. It has this 230 support line, whatever, right? But as soon as you see a massive lower shadow or a wick or whatever you want to call it, forming a hammer candle, and look at all this volume behind it. This blue volume is more than the opening print. That shows me that there's a ton of buyers coming in there, and even though this didn't just completely reverse, that shows me that we bottomed out. Now, say it didn't bottom out and it kept going down, because sometimes they don't work out, right? But your stop losses can always be entered in. If you see something like this and you buy in, let's say right here, you could set your stop loss at low of the day, right? So now it's only going to move 50 cents, and 50 cents is probably only going to stop you at about $20 to $30 a contract, if that. So your risk to reward ratio is so much when you can see a price volume spike. This is volume price analysis right here. So when I see a hammer candle with a massive large wick and volume like that, I'm going with the reversal 90% of the time. And if I get stopped out, I get stopped out because my risk to reward ratio there is incredible. Considering one-day expiration puts to catch tomorrow's news, I don't. If you do that, I would probably. I don't agree, just because I don't like to play theta. I think that theta overnight is brutal, and it's going to completely decay. So let's just say that you trade these SPY contracts, and you want to take them to tomorrow expiration. Let's just take a look at the theta. So 409 here, let's just say you think it's going to drop $2. So 409s could be in the money tomorrow, and it could take these from about 40 to maybe 127, which sounds really good, but you're also losing theta overnight as well. So you're going to be, let's say these could turn in from, if it drops 30 or $3 tomorrow, you could be up about $40 a contract. So you might make 100%. only if it drops about $3 or more. So to me, if it opens flat or you're down $1, you're down $2, you're going to lose on that. So I probably wouldn't do that close to the expiration. If you're going to swing anything, I would try to do like next week's of some sort. I would not do the same week expiration just because Theta is a brutal monster. I was looking for these 41.15 puts. I was up about $40 a contract, but it's currently down, and it looks like it's just in an uptrend right now. This is just a lotto play for me. I don't think that anything crazy is going to come of this, but it is nuts that they did just get sold off from $1,800 to $40 a piece. I would love to see what these call contracts for these 4130s were real quick. I know it's the SPX and it goes crazy all the time, but would just love to see what these were worth. 4130s are now in the money. They are $380 coming from $35 a piece, and they got up to $500. Damn, these things went crazy. So this was 1,000% play just by buying the bottom, which is pretty nuts. And I also want to say right here that this was another massive volume after a big spike down. So even though this wasn't low of the day at 409, it spiked down just a touch below, and then it completely reversed. And you see all this volume come in after the slow fade down with low volume chop at the bottom of Bollinger Bands or at the bottom of a trend. If you see a massive spike in volume, that's usually a pretty good opportunity to scale into. I don't use the 9 EMA. I use the VWAP and the Bollinger Bands because I'm more of a price action trader than I am an indicator trader. I know everybody likes the 9 EMA, but it's just not my thing. And I like to keep my charts very, very plain and simple. So that's kind of what I was watching earlier today. And if anybody wants to know now how I missed out on about 20 grand, I'll tell you. And it was my 4,100 puts. So I had SPX puts loaded up, 4,110 puts. This is exactly what I was in, the ones that I just bought now for calls or for puts. And I'm just probably doing it because I missed this. But I had a lot of contracts. I think I had 17 contracts at 206 right here. And or no, it was more like 220-ish, 230-ish. And I saw a massive spike and I was ready to go, right? So I was up a good amount of money right here around this. Where is it? Right here. So I started purchasing around this area around like 12:15. I was like, okay, this thing has a potential to go. Where was it? Right here. This is exactly it. So this is my trade today. And this is why sometimes things get messed up in your head. So take this with a grain of salt. So I missed out on about $20,000 today. I'm hurt. I'm sad. Whatever. There's no emotions in this game. But right here, I was watching this downtrend right here of low of the day, 410.15. And I knew from the daily chart, oh, that's crooked. Sorry. I knew from the daily chart that we had so much more room down, probably to that 409 mark, which is where we hit today anyway. And I'm not just saying that. I just knew it was going to 409 because of the bearish engulfing pattern. So it's all good, man. I mean, I'm not looking for pity. It's all good. I'm just showing you what I did wrong today, or not really wrong, but how I risk managed myself. And it ended up going my way anyways, which is pretty rough. So, what I saw today is I saw this shooting star candle at the top of a Bollinger Band, and I knew right here, midday around 11:40, started to curl down a little bit, and we saw some volume price spikes, right? So at this point, I knew that we had a little bit more green to go, but it was not strong whatsoever with this low volume. So once I started seeing that this candlestick start to break out, I started scaling in around this 230, 240 level, and I started adding, and then I actually was adding to this point right here at 411.17, and I started making a little bit of money here at 253. It wasn't that much, and I knew I was looking for that spike down from here to this new low, because this new low would have probably paid me about $5,000 or so, $4,000 or $5,000, which would have been great. But as soon as I saw this spike down, I was up a really good amount of money. I was up to $350 a piece, I believe that the contracts were. You could see this candle; they were up to $350 a piece. And I was up a good amount. And I had 17 contracts, keep that in mind, and I'm up about $100 a contract. So do the math there, I'm up a lot, right? So, well, not a lot, but a decent amount. So I'm up 17 contracts, I'm up $100 a contract there, and next thing you know, It's like $1,700, whatever. The next thing that I see right here is this hammer candle at the bottom of a Bollinger Band. Now, keep in mind, I just talked about how the Microsoft, if I see a hammer candle at the bottom of a Bollinger Band, I'm out. And it scares me sometimes because that's literally my reason to go calls. But what I mistaked on was this lack of volume. Small spike of volume, but it wasn't a massive spike of volume, showing me that there's a weak bounce. So I did see this spike, and it did go up a little higher, and I ended up stopping myself out about $400, and I didn't make any money on the trade. Basically break even. It was right below it, so $400 isn't really a loss. It's more so break even on 17 contracts, 16 contracts, I can't remember. But then it completely fell this way. I went right out to the pool, started to cry, and then when I looked back at it, I saw the spike up to 1,300, 1,400 a piece. If I held it for another 25, 30 minutes and saw this momentum on the downside, I saw the TTM squeeze start to fade off, I would have held it for I probably wouldn't have held it to the top, but I definitely would have held it for this big drop down around like 800, 900 when I saw that weakness. So if this hammer candle did not happen and I didn't stop myself out thinking it was just going to reverse there, I would be up about 20 grand today, maybe a little less, probably around like that $14,000, $15,000 mark on a very, very minimal risk too. It's about $2,000-$3,000 at risk, and it's really brutal. So I'm looking at that. I'm looking at that level right now, and I didn't see that spike in volume, and that is where I messed up. So as you can see, the difference in this hammer candle right here with no volume is the difference between something like Meta at the bottom of a Bollinger Band with this massive spike in volume. So this really shows a true reversal. If you see just one of these and it's like a tiny spike, you get the point. So I'm a little hurt right now. I'm a little upset, I can't lie, that I'm not up a shit ton of money right now, because that would have been a hell of a way to start off the month, because I would have been up already like 40K on the month. So that would have been really nice, but we're not. So we're going to take that one on the chin. We're going to keep that loss. At least it wasn't massive, and we're just going to play it smart, play it safe. So that is kind of my little rant. So I told myself I'm not going to trade the end of the day. Bullish signs all over the place. You could probably take this up to 413. You might end up seeing you get to come back tomorrow. Oh yeah, I mean this game is all mental, and if you cry about it and you're upset about different trades that you didn't execute, or it's the woulda, shoulda, coulda game. I mean, there's always going to be, oh, I could have made this much money, or I could have made that much money, or I could have lost this much money, So just got to risk manage yourself. It's exactly what I did. I'm happy to be stopped out just flat, but it does kind of hurt that the very next candle that I stopped myself out on was the start of my downtrend. So it's all good. Risk management is everything. When I'm risking $2,000, $2,500 to $3,000, if I'm stopping myself out 10% around that $300 mark, when on the other side I could be making $20,000, risk to reward ratio, that's a trade I'll take any day of the week. So volume for confirmation is everything. In 1 second. I have no affiliation to this book, promise. But this book changed my life right here. Volume Price Analysis by Anna Cooling. It goes through everything about those hammer candles at the bottom of Bollinger Bands, or different types of volume spikes, when's a good fake out, when it's not. Anna Cooling is a beast. So this is a great book. It helped me change perspectives. I wouldn't say that this changed my entire strategy, but it does help out a struggling trader. So that's it. If you need that, there it is. That's a really great book. I highly recommend if you're trying to trade reversals like that. So yeah, so hopefully that helped you out. But the only thing that I really want to talk about, I think that we're just going to slowly tread up. We can see how the market is just, this is the 15-minute on the SPX. It looks like this is a key resistance point right here that's about to test. So it'll either reject or just slowly chop its way up. As you can see, I'm probably losing out on this lotto big time. Let's see, 41.15s. I'm probably down. Yeah, I'm down $40. So it's only one contract, but it could come back. You never know. I don't think it's going to, but you never know. 41.15. That's only $15 down. So things could get a little crazy. I'm just gonna let it ride. It's only $15 now, so two things that I'm watching. PPI data tomorrow, of course. Um, Amazon has it for $20. Yeah, it's a real cheap book, and it's a very easy read as well. So I don't know if that's the right one. Is that the right one? Technical analysis using multiple time frames. No, that's not the. I don't know if you guys are talking about the Brian Shannon book, but the Anna Cooling book is the other one. Different one, boss. All right. Whatever, guys. Leave me. Whatever. Make me feel bad about myself. But overall, bad day for me. Went to the airport at 5:30 in the morning to find out that my flight is tomorrow at 7 a.m., not today. And missed out on 20 grand. So I ate oatmeal for breakfast. That's probably the highlight of my day. I also went to the pool, so I can't be that upset. But that's really like all I kind of see. I feel like the market's gonna just be pretty tough. What are you guys looking at? Oh yeah, there it is. There's Anna Cooling. She's also $21. But if you have a Kindle, it's only $4. So she's an animal. I haven't read the other book yet. Maybe I'll take a look into that since apparently I messed up today. Where are you stationed out of? Me? I have a place in Florida, and I bounce back and forth between Florida and New York City. So, just traveling back to New York City. I'm actually going to see Theo Vaughn on Friday, so that's the reason I'm headed back. But I also have an investor conference, a conference for my marketing company that I own, and a couple client meetings up there. So we'll knock out some work out there as well. I'll be up there for about 2 weeks. I've never lived in Florida my whole life. I'm from Pennsylvania. There he is. There's Theo. There he is. This man needs to be studied. The Rat King. He's so funny. Everything about him. I hope his stand-up is good as his short-form edited content. But the Rat King. Man, that mullet is beautiful, man. But, yeah, so I'm headed back tomorrow. I'm playing in my basketball league tomorrow. My team is I used to play in college, for those that don't know, and we're in a pretty competitive league. So we play for money and everything, and we won like 3 championships in a row. And then since I moved back to Florida, I've been missing it a lot. So I'm gonna go up there, catch up with them, play a game, and then Friday I got Theo Vaughn, and then I have a couple conferences and client meetings next week. But I will be live every single day, same time still, so no conflict there. And that's it. I'm flying Delta tomorrow, so if you don't hear from me, just buy some puts on Delta. Microsoft is cooking too. Ooh, one thing I'm noticing over here, I don't know if you guys like the end of the day puts or end of day contracts, the SPX, whatever. I know I'm only in one. I'm only going to play one. But this right here, if anybody can tell me what this is, I'll tell Deck to buy you lunch tomorrow. I would do it, but I missed out on 20 grand and I'm being stingy. What is this candlestick right now? You only have 5 seconds to tell me. 5, 4, 3, 2. AR trades. There it is. Hammer? Nah, kind of upside down hammer. Shooting star candle. But not really. It's kind of a shooting star. It's not the full length of it, but there's just what I'm saying is it's in an uptrend, and when you see something like that in an uptrend, it's kind of the reversal pattern, unless you see a massive green candle, of course, engulf this. So similar situation as those hammer candles that I was telling you about. Here's the hammer at the bottom. This is kind of an inverse hammer. Call it the Thor hammer. You could call it a shooting star, whatever you want. But there's 2 ways to play this, right? So you see the shooting star candle, you see a nice little spike down. If this completely bullish engulfs this, that just means that there's a lot of strength in there. And a lot of the times the shooting star candles are not as good as these call contracts down here. So I like to play calls on these bounces, especially in a bull market. I feel like we're in a bull market. I feel like I'm safe to say that now that the market just doesn't stop. But you do see a massive spike in volume right here. at this level right here with the shooting star. So shows you there was a pullback, but a lot of buyers were sitting right here. And until it breaks this level, this is exactly what I would do. I'm not going to do it right now. Just like I said, I don't want to revenge trade. I don't want to be pissed off. It's just a part of my playbook. So I will talk you through this though. So mental trade for me, 41.15 puts I would stay away from. I would probably go like the 41.25s if I was going to trade this, get close to the money. See how much they are. $60. Fuck that. Sorry. 41.30. I would go 41.30 puts. This is exactly what I would do. And I would probably go in right here. Maybe. Yeah, I would probably go in right here because of this volume spike right here. So this volume spike, now this retest of that high, I'm buying right there at 150. I'm buying 10 contracts. And my stop loss is going to be at 120. So I have a $300 loss set. Probably 125. I would lose $250 on this trade. So I would set 10, buy at 150, stop loss at 125 here. And if it breaks above 412.50, then it bullish engulfed. I guess there's a lot of strength near the end of the day. But this is a lot of volume with this shooting star candle. The only reason that it's not a confident trade for me is because it's not at the top of this Bollinger Band. So I would probably enter right here to see if we can get a second rejection with this volume. And if it goes above it, then I would keep the stop loss very small. So I'd be in at 150. My stop loss would be at 125, and we could tell you if it's going to get hit right now or not. But this would be a quick trade. It'd be a nice little quick spike down because it's low at the end of the day. So you can't really hold on to the SPX much more than like 5 candles or 2. I don't know what just happened. Scared the shit out of me. But we're good. So it's not yet breaking that high because of that volume spike. So stop loss would still be at 1.25. See if it's even worth it. Looking at the order flow right now at 412.40. It seems to be like the buyers have a hold of this and they're going to try to push this even more above 412.50. Or not 412. Yeah, 412.50. Yeah, the buyers got it. So right there I would have been stopped out at 125. Which is very interesting to me because that shooting star candle with that volume spike, but it's not at the bottom of the Bollinger Band or at the top of the Bollinger Band, so that is not a real good confirmation for me just yet. I do kind of like this play though. I would have definitely tried this, no joke, with this little rip up, but a lot of the times when you see this bullish engulfing, it's just in a fat uptrend. So stop loss small on the other end here. I mean, this thing probably would have ran up to like 350. So would have been about a $2,000 trade with a $250 stop loss. It's about almost a 8R. Man, these are nuts. I'm just going crazy right now. Email me at youngodie@gmail.com. I'll send you a copy of Anna's book. Oh, hell yeah. AR trades, you gotta message Deck tomorrow. I'll help you message Deck tomorrow and be like, all right, yo, this guy's some lunch. Because he was correct. We'll make him pay for it because how did Deck do today? Did he make money today? Or did he also miss out on $20,000? Anybody have any idea? Anybody watch him over there? Damn, this thing is going. Jeez. What up, team? And at next, what's up, TiVo? He made money. It was a wild ride. Can't wait to see that content. One of the videos that he posted the other day has me in tears all the time that I watch it. I think I've watched it 40 times now. Went from negative 3K to positive almost 2K, I think. You ended up making 1K. Boom. Beautiful day. 1K a day, made $250 a year. Cannot be upset about that. I'm slowly transitioning into the kind of trader that wants to trade like the most perfect setup once or twice a month. I know a couple guys out there that trade like 4 times a year, and that's their whole year. And they just put a shit ton of size behind a perfect setup, and then they play that way. That seems like a pretty stress-free life to me, instead of watching it every day, trying to be like, okay, 1K today, 2K today. But we'll see. I've been more on the vibe of taking like 1 to 2 trades a day and putting like 5,000 in it, 10,000 in it, 2,000 even in the SPX. I don't ever trade more than like 2,500 in the SPX just because of how crazy that thing can get real fast. So this market is going crazy, man. Are we going up to 415 today? That would be wild. I also don't even want to know what these 4130 calls are right now. Wow. Wow. Hypothetically speaking, I don't know what is causing this push, to be honest, unless there's like a I don't know. I have no idea. I'm gonna assume that it's probably just a little like layover from CPI heading into PPI. But can we all just take a second real quick? This is why the SPX is like it's like one of those people that like it's one of those girls that you just love, but like sometimes you just want to like fucking never speak to them again, you know? Keep it PG here. And you always go back to her. She's like a toxic ex. Like you can make so much money off of it, but you can get stopped out so fast. It's very, very toxic. Yeah, never look. But I'm looking. And I'm looking real tight because this is $35 a contract, which is ridiculous. And even $60 a contract. Now, given I probably would have never taken these 4100s at this level, but even on this pullback down here, they were $100 a piece. 10 of those is $1,000. $1,000 into $12,000 in 30 minutes. It's just like, damn. It's just like one of those things, you know? And I've caught in a couple really, really big SPX plays. I think one of my biggest ever was, I think 10 contracts at about $80 a piece and ended up running up to 2,200. And I didn't make all 22 grand, but I did scale out and I had like 3 contracts run up there. So I ended up making like, it was like $11,000 off of a $900 investment. It was pretty crazy. But you don't catch those very often, and that's why I love the SPX sometimes because you can see some pretty crazy stuff. Bro sounds like he has had Toxic X to the max. If you've had a Toxic X, we could compare stories. I guarantee I'll win. I also sold my SPX put too early. Wouldn't have made 20K though. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you made 20K, 2K, 1K, $2. It still hurts. It doesn't matter how much you would have made versus how much you would have lost. It's all about count size, position size, and risk management. So there's no competition over here. I could have made $20 and somebody could have made $40 million today, and I would be just as happy. Damn, $13,000 though. Look at this thing. Still going. Imagine, man. Imagine. 4140s are 530. $150 to $5,000. Damn. What is your screaming schedule? It says it right on the top. Monday through Thursday, 2:30 to 4. $2:30 to 4 p.m. I really kind of trade a lot more in the morning, but been having a lot of afternoon commentary for you guys. And honestly, it's kind of fun to trade at the end of the day. A couple SPX contracts, see a couple setups, talk through the day, go over some trade recaps, and help you guys out that way. So don't expect a ton of like massive trades from me at the end of the day, but we can have a lot of fun with this. I mean, I could have taken some calls at the end of the day here, and we would have made a lot of money, but I don't know how to read, bro. I feel you, man. I can barely read street signs. How do you end up on the floor at the NYSE? Very, very carefully. I kind of forced my way on there, actually. I used to use I saw this guy walking all the time from the New York Stock Exchange. And like he would always work there. And he kind of looked like me a little bit, so I used to follow him home. And one day that I followed him home, I actually beat him up pretty good, and I stole all of his clothes, and I actually kept just going in there. I took his number, took everything. So um, I forced my way in there. But the real story is I was in a fund way back in the day, and I want to believe that's a true story. So I used to work for a fund in a $500 a day keeps the 9 to 5 away. Honestly, less than that keeps the 9 to 5 away, but that's beautiful. Made a couple K and put home back. I feel like if it's ever bought and due for a drop. What is going on? This is crazy. Up to $700? We're just going all the way up. We're going to high of the day, guys. I'm not trading this. I'm not even chasing. I can't chase, but we're not stopping. We're going to high of the day. We're going to 415, no problem. And also, how I got on the New York Stock Exchange is I'm in a 50K challenge. Okay. Damn, you guys are active today. Let's go. I'm loving this. But I am talking about how did I get on the New York Stock Exchange. I worked for a fund back in the day in college. They gave us real money to trade. I found Square when it was like a $20 stock. It ran all the way to 100. It was a 400% trade, blah, blah, blah. Just shares, just equities, long term. Just completely restructured the whole tech sector. Started pitching about a bunch of different stocks that I loved. And then we went on a New York trip, and we were working with, I talk about this a lot in my podcast. So if you ever want to hear the full story, I have a podcast. When did you work on the NYSE? 2019 to 2020, right after COVID. So I was there for about a year and a half, and then COVID hit. I ended up getting the entire floor sick. I have a couple of things here too. I feel like I could take this conversation a lot of ways, but long story short is I met a guy on the New York Stock Exchange when we went down there to visit to see the opening bell with my class in college, and then we hit it off because he was trading Square, Snapchat, Alibaba, all the stocks that I was talking about being in the fund at the time. And then we all went out to dinner. I invited him out to our alumni event. Didn't realize he actually went to my college, so that was a big help. And then we just stayed in touch. We went out to dinner. We drank like 2 gallons of wine together. And then things got a little freaky. No, but seriously, I just stayed in contact with him, and then he offered me a job after school. So not a lot of people get hired down there, especially right out of college. It's more of an older crowd. Podcast name is My Next Move. It's a little shaky. It's the first. My Next Move. It's the first episode I talk all about my story, but then I have a lot of people coming on there as well. There is a Thor candle coming up here on the Bollinger Band. So I do like that downside. I don't know if I would take that right there because that could just be a little bit of a fake out. The volume is high and it's at the end of the day, so it gets really shaky. My Next Move is a podcast. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, and there's a couple editing issues on a couple of the episodes. Some of the volume's all messed up sometimes, but I now have an editor and everything for season 2, and I have some pretty big names coming on. So that podcast will start popping off here pretty soon, I would imagine, because I got some really good names coming on. First season was just a test run to see if it would do anything, and I got a little bit of traction. So looking forward to keeping that going here in the next couple weeks. I took a little bit of a break because it is a lot of work, but now that I have a team behind it, should be a lot more fun. It is on YouTube. YouTube is a little bit, like I said, there's a lot of editing issues because I had to do everything myself. I purchased the camera. Sometimes there were some audio issues, some YouTube issues, but I've had other traders on there. I've had real estate guys, people that own marketing agencies, PR people, some mindset coaches. So it's a podcast on all things success. So talking about their story, how they got started, and what their next move is to ultimately become more successful as they navigate through their career. So it's very conversational. It's very laid back. It's nothing like too like whatever, but you get a lot of good information across all different industries, and I meet a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners, so it's really cool. A lot of value for you guys as well. So you want to hear more about my New York Stock Exchange experience, go ahead and listen to episode 1 of that podcast on My Next Move, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, or YouTube as well. It's on there, but the video quality sometimes is a little ass, so just be prepared. Thank you, boys. Thank you, AR Trades. One cool little history lesson for you guys is once they give you this guy, you sign the book on the New York Stock Exchange, you get initiated after you pass all your tests and everything. But on the floor, the way it used to be is you kind of used to get hazed. So when you get your first badge on the floor, it's like this orange badge. And when you get it, somebody from the New York Stock Exchange that's been a member there for a while rips it off your jacket and they break it into like 100 pieces. So you have to tape it all together. It's basically like your initiation, and they always break this for some reason until you get enough hours logged onto the books and trading books until you get your white badge. So everybody has a white badge down there. You'll always see that. But if anybody sees an orange, if you ever see an orange badge, it's basically just the initiation of a new trader. And the old guys will just take it, snap it, break it all over the place, and then you have to wear it all taped up and ugly until you get your white one, and then you're good to go from there. But little cool piece of history for you. You got a link to it? I gotta find it. Yeah, I got a link. 1 second. You guys are gonna make me work for this. If you just go to My Next Move, it should look like this. It's about 10 episodes right there. Less blood than my army hazings. Oh yeah, that's probably pretty wild. How do I share this podcast? Share it. Copy link. I'll email it to myself and then copy it to you guys. This is Spotify, so if you have Apple Music, I don't know what to tell you. I don't have that garbage. You can find it on YouTube as well. Gmail.com. 1 second. I've got my old grandpa computer right now. I cannot believe I went to the... Well, one, I can't believe I missed out on 20 grand. Two, I cannot believe that I missed... that my flight was tomorrow. And now I have to stay up and watch LeBron go to the Western Conference Finals. I'm going to be exhausted on the plane tomorrow. Plane anxiety. I'm probably just going to buy puts on Delta before I get in, just in case, so I can leave it to my mom. Boom. There it is. Spotify. My Next Move podcast. Check it out. Would appreciate the listen. Don't judge me if the audio is a little messed up in some of the episodes. I was just learning, okay? But it's going to get better, I promise. No trades for me just yet, but probably not going to trade this end of day action. But if you can see these 4140 contracts just go from 380 to 800 on that one move, that's ridiculous. I probably would have taken puts right here at this Bollinger Band, but I would have got stopped out too. So I'm happy I'm just taking mental trades right now. At the end of the day, price action is nuts. I was not expecting this massive rally, but here she is. Curry will force a game 7. Hell no. I'll bet whatever you want on it. Sorry I didn't take any trades for you guys today. As you could probably guess, I'm a little PTSD and sad about not making the money that I intended to today, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. There are some watches that I have big time, definitely Tesla, and definitely Meta as well. So if Meta can get some legs here, I would potentially swing this, but I'm not going to count out the downside either because if PPI is bad, excuse me, I probably gap down to this 223 level. So I am watching this gap fill right here. It's a nice gap that I would like to see filled on this, to be honest. But if we start going towards that 236, 237, I would look for that 245 run. Why you miss out on decent money? Jofi, you just pour salt on the wound, man. Pour salt on the wound. I missed out on $20,000 today, and I sold my position basically flat for a $400 loss. In the SPX, I'll show you exactly where. God, this hurts so bad. Right here. I saw this reversal, and I figured we would go to this low of the day mark, right around this level at 411. I had the 4110s, so I was thinking they were going to go in the money, and I was going to try to make about, I had 17 contracts or 16, and I was looking for the reversal here. I got them pretty nicely at, oh yeah, give me the salt, baby. Oh yeah, you could also rewind the video. Good looks, all right, RER trades. I'll tell you real quick though, in a very small trip. So I ended up, everybody knows I love the Bollinger Band retest reversal trades on hammer candles, and that's exactly what I saw, but there wasn't enough volume, so I kind of psyched myself out, stopped myself out, break even right at this level. So I was up a ton. I was up about 1,700. I wasn't going to take that, and then when I saw that hammer candle come all the way up, I thought I should probably just take my break even drop here. And then all of a sudden, it went from 200 at my stop to about 1,400 a contract. So you do the math there. And that shit hurts. But risk management, I wasn't allowing myself to lose money. So there is a plus that I'm not just going to let a position run against me because I could end up losing 1,000 pretty quick. But, you know, sometimes it just smacks you in the face. And that's just the art of trading. So it hurts, but tomorrow's another day. Depending on if my flight lands or not. But regardless, the trade was there. I was correct. There was no risk on it, basically, because I put my stop at break even. Ended up losing 400, but I'll take it. I will take it. I'm fine, though. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine, I promise. I did see that a lot of people were talking about CRM today. Is CRM doing something? Doesn't look like it. Looks like trash, actually. I don't know why people were talking about that. How's Snowflake doing, though? That's actually a really good question. Whoa! Holy hell. From 133. Damn. To 174. That's pretty good. I'm telling you what, if you have about like $10,000 to $15,000, you could just play shares and have no stress, sell some covered calls against your position, and make about $3,000 to $4,000 a month, honestly. The way that these stocks move, you just look at some pretty decent names that are beat up and just buy, hold, and then wait for the next pullback on some of these stocks. I think the next big pullback, I did it on Square. I'm currently in Square shares right now, waiting for that 73 test. There's another one in Google. This thing pulled all the way down to 103 to 112. You feel like this is the top on the SPY? I don't see it. I see that these larger time frames are probably going towards this pre-market high, if not at least this high of the day of 414.50. So if you play the downside, I don't think that you're wrong by any means, but I would just be careful. I'm probably not going to take anything. I think that it's just going to ride this Bollinger Band all the way up until it hits that 414.50 mark. Yeah, don't go against the beast. It's just going to go like crazy, but it is 3:40. I know that the market closes in 20 minutes. Usually want to wrap up around that 3:45, 3:50 mark. And especially with no trades today, I feel like it's probably best for me to probably just go blow off some steam at the gym or something like that. Pretty brutal, pretty brutal. It's going to stick with me for a while until I make another big trade because not so often you get these movements lately, so I've been trying to catch something in the SPX when it's there, but clearly I missed it today. So I'm a little hurt, but I'm not going to let it get me down. I'm going to come back tomorrow with a vengeance, and I'm going to make it back, and I will catch something out. So PPI data tomorrow, don't recommend swinging anything. If you swing anything, it's probably a gamble. I personally think it's going to get pretty ugly, but what do I know? So I can't predict the future, but holy shit, this is a hell of a buy-up candle. Wow. Wow. I'll tell you what, if PPI isn't bad, we're going right to 418 to 420 tomorrow. So, going to be a lot of movement no matter what. Going to let the market simmer. I hate trading the first 15 to 45 minutes. I think a lot of people already understand that and why, but that is it. Think about that 20K while lifting, and you'll get 2 to 3 extra reps in. Honestly, I might just let the bench fall on my face at this point, but we're gonna end up better tomorrow after I land. So I will see you guys tomorrow, 2:30 sharp, from the Big Apple, New York City, baby. Forbidden pre. Problem is that you never know how the market is going to interpret the data. Of course, that's why you just got to go with the price action. Never go into a day thinking that a level is going to hit no matter what. Except recently, it's been kind of working for me because I did have that NVIDIA 290 break yesterday, and then not yesterday, a couple days ago, Microsoft 312 break today. So there's a lot of stocks you can pay attention to. So you gotta want to make sure that you have your levels set pre-market. Google also popped off today. I can't believe I missed that. Damn, that looked real good. But we'll get another one of those. I know Meta is on its way, and so will Tesla. So just keep those on watch. We're going to catch those breakouts. Those are my biggest movers. And tomorrow's a new day. So wish me luck on that flight, boys and girls. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 2:30. Love you guys so much. See you later.